Hello YouTube land! My name is Castelcaden and we are playing Minecraft. Today we're going to be going over a mod spotlight on the mod Greg's Lighting, which basically deals with floodlights. Now there are two types of floodlights, well technically there's three types of floodlights already introduced. However, I'm going to be going over the first two as the last one requires industrial craft and in my opinion isn't nearly as efficient as the first two selections. So, first and foremost, what these lights are high-powered lamps designed for large spaces, basically. And we're going to be going over the recipes of each of those. I'm just going to be switching it into cheat mode so I can turn it into nighttime. First and foremost, before actually going into the recipes, I definitely just want to quickly show you what the difference is between, let's say, the radius of a regular torch on my screen, as you can see, versus this directional floodlight. Bam! So it goes fairly far, actually. Just going to do the same thing over here really quickly. Actually, I accidentally destroyed a lever. I do apologize. There we go. This one's actually a little bit longer, which is nice. So anyways, that gives you an idea of the power of the floodlights. With that said, again, the light does not dissipate until maybe I think 50 blocks away or so. So overall, it is quite good. Same with this one. Oops. The light does not dissipate. It will basically flood you with light until, you know, it's out of range, which is quite a long time. Anyway, now that we actually have that set up, we're actually just going to switch it back to daytime so I can show you guys the recipes. Now again, there are two different types of floodlights. One which is a regular floodlight, which I will show you how to use, and the second one which is the carbide floodlight. So going over this one's actually fairly expensive, but this one lasts for an infinite amount of time, so, you know, apples and oranges type of thing. It really depends on how you want to go about by doing this. So, you will require glowstones and a gold nugget to equal this glowing alloy ingot. And that's the first phase. To go actually get the, floodlight, what you'll want is the ingot in the middle, 2 iron ingots, redstone powder, and 3 glass along the bottom. Now, keep in mind that although this gives you a floodlight, you do need some kind of a switch or redstone power source. So overall, that gives you an idea of what it takes to actually create this type of floodlight. The second type of floodlight, the carbide, it's a little bit more intricate and it does require a bit of a fuel source to power up, so it's not as efficient, but it's technically less expensive than the initial floodlight that we have here. So we need charcoal and bone meal, and once combined we get bone meal charcoal mixture. No worries about the originality of the name. Anyway, so the next step, what you want to do is actually just quickly go and put it in the oops, put that in the wrong slot, didn't I? No, I didn't. There we go. Yeah, put it in there. And what it'll equal is this carbide calcium. Or sorry, wow, calcium carbide. Just going to grab 64 of those so we can continue forward. Anyways, so now that we actually have that, the next thing on the list to do is to continue building the actual floodlight. So we'll need 2 iron ingots to equal a gas nozzle. And then same like the other recipe, well similar to the other recipe, you want to put the gas nozzle in the middle, set up 2 cobblestone, a redstone on top, 3 glass on bottom, and you will get the carbide floodlight. Now, there's a couple things required. First and foremost, you'll actually require water, and you'll also need that calcium carbide. So I'll show you quickly what it's like over here. And again, it's a different texture and everything. It looks cooler and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to grab some water just so I can show you guys the interface of this. It's a fairly straightforward interface. You just drop it in, and you're good to go. And what I'm going to do is quickly exchange it for this one later on so I don't have to worry about more water. Now, if you are using industrial craft or forestry or anything like that, you can use the water cans and capsules. So you know, something for you if you're using those mods. Anyway, the fuel source is calcium carbide, and this whole stack will probably last you about 15 Minecraft days, or 15 to 20 Minecraft days. So depending on how long your day-night cycle is, then that gives you an idea of how long it should last. I'll quickly show you what it'll be like. I'm just going to, again, flip it to midnight. Yes, that one's shining. I was wondering where that light was coming from, but I forgot I left that one on. Anyway, so flipping the switch, and off it goes. And to my knowledge, they're a little bit longer than the regular floodlights, to my knowledge. At least maybe by a couple of blocks, but really it's nothing out of the ordinary. Then again, it could just be when I was testing on different elevations or something like that. Anyway, so as you can see, this is already starting to slowly degrade this calcium carbide. And the water is also slowly starting to leave, although slowly is, you can't really tell, but it'll last for a while. However, the downside to this is the fact that, well, guess what? You actually have to refill it. So although the first recipe was a little bit more expensive because it does require all of those glowstones, if you do have something like Buildcraft or Industrial Craft where you can go in through the macerator and the condenser and all of that stuff and get the UU matter and all that other junk, then getting glowstone isn't necessarily that big of a deal. At least compared to having to maintain the carbide floodlight. Now the third floodlight is an electric floodlight. I'll quickly show you what it is. And, actually, I'll go from here. No. Okay, so we'll go from here. We'll grab ourselves... Actually, I'm going to switch into recipe mode. No. Recipe mode. Actually, yeah, utility mode. Anyways, so to do this, we'll need to do the following. Actually, I'm going to get rid of that so you guys can see what it requires. Okay, so basically it's kind of like the original one, right? However, this requires a Industrial Craft 2 floodlight bulb, and this is where it gets a little tricky. So we'll need, you know, this one isn't too bad. You need glass, redstone, and the filament assembly. To create the filament assembly, though, you need ultra low current cable, you need insulated copper cable, and copper ingots. For insulated, I'm pretty sure it's, yeah, just tin. Or sorry, no, for the low current, it's just tin. So, yeah. And again, this is just copper ingots. For this one, it's a little bit different as well. 3 copper ingots and then 3 rubber balls on each side. So that's 6 in total to get the insulated copper cable. And keep in mind that this does require power, which is why I do not like it. I'd rather use that power to actually do stuff. And it does take about 1 EU per tick. So, I mean, that's about the size of a Stirling engine just to power up, you know, a flood lamp. I'd rather just grab myself the redstone, or sorry, the regular flood lamp and get it over and done with. Anyways, so I kind of showcased the 2 ones that I thought I'd probably show off. Again, the electric one, I don't really use it. I'd rather just use the regular floodlights. So that kind of shows you my train of thought, mostly because I find power really precious. I really, really do. Anyways, I'm sorry for jumping on those. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this little bit of a mod spotlight on Greg's lighting. I really do hope you guys enjoyed. It's that simple. Anyways, leave a comment down below, subscribe to my channel, leave a like if you loved me, and until next time, keep modding.